Damien Dibbell, the heavyweight champion of the world. How great does
Yes,
that still
sir.
sound to hear?
Man, every time that sound hits my ears, just like the gates of heaven opening up, just
Yeah.
euphoria.
Awesome, my man. I mean, great to have you back as always. I think you're an incredible ambassador for the sport. I often think back to the interview we had at UFC X, seeing you guys there representing Power Slap at the expo. You were coaching, obviously, the event that they had that weekend with John Davis, two of the most classy guys in the sport overall. Fast forward, you're still the title holder. Nobody's been able to come and really push and challenge you or put you in any type of trouble. Are you just that much better than everybody else in the rank, or what's going on?
Man, it's complicated because I try to be that humble fighter. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not, I'm not always out there talking the most shit. I ain't got that kind of personality, but
Mm-hmm.
at this point, it's really looking like I'm just that kind of fighter in the heavyweight division because
Mm-hmm.
the top three guys have all been knocked out by me. We just need that filtration coming through. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know what training methods I do differently, but
Yeah.
just working hard, training hard, and just keep pushing forward, never
Mm-hmm.
stopping.
You've been on top and you've been dominant for a while. I'm not sure if I've asked you this in the past, but it's like, is there another gear to your game that we haven't seen? Because we haven't really seen you in trouble yet. We haven't seen you have to dig deep into your toolbox to overcome a lot of adversity. Is there still something more that we haven't seen now, 13 plus months later?
Oh yeah, there's always going to be a little more that you haven't seen as
Mm-hmm.
of right now, at least. My last match with Ryan Phillips, it went to 4 rounds, but as you could tell, I really was just having fun with that match. I was just
Mm-hmm.
chilling up there, doing my little thing. I was
Yeah.
really, I was really focused on making sure I put on a good show for the producers and everybody out there.
Mm-hmm.
It was main eventing like that. It's still a lot of pressure for me, so I try to go out there and put on the best performance I could give, not only in my fight, but the other
Mm-hmm.
aspects of it. Getting the crowd working. Trying to work on myself and being more of a performer in my sport.
Yeah. Again, Ryan Phillips, a great, personality. You seem that, in the face-offs, you get a little bit of emotion out of you. At least we've seen more enthusiasm have before. Have you spoken to Ryan since? And kind of what's your relationship like with him post-fight now?
After the fight, it was, there's always that a little animosity there. It's
Mm-hmm.
never anything against me. It sucks. You lost. You feel like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like we never got that drink. We were I was going to get him
Yeah.
because every time I fight somebody, I'm like, hey, bro, let me buy you a drink at least or something afterwards.
Yeah.
Yet to buy anybody a drink. It's great for my wallet, terrible for my relationships, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've been on good terms though. We started talking again.
Mm-hmm.
It took a couple of days, for him to cool off, get back to 100%.
Of course. Do you think you're going to see Ryan again?
I don't think so. They're really strict when it comes to knockouts and
Mm-hmm.
any bad knockout. I mean, that's what killed Reigns or Dwayne's running for the championship and the title
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of people think I knocked him out for a championship match, but it was just a bad knockout to get the championship match. And it
Mm-hmm.
was, and that's what they kind of look for when they're planning these title matches is someone that hasn't already got knocked out like that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want someone that's previously fought that person and been knocked out in such a way,
Mm-hmm.
getting a rematch too quickly without having to really earn it. So
Mm-hmm.
he'd have to get like knockouts back to back to do that. And I just don't see him doing that.
Gotcha. Very ssimilar fate, that Nate Bernard,
Yeah.
had against you as Ryan Phillips did. Other than that, anybody else in the division that you think is worthy of that next title shot?
Honestly, if I had to pick one person, Dorian is like the biggest name that I want to talk about. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's who I want to push for this next title match out of anybody. Dorian's been said to have the strongest chin. He has a soul when it comes to the sport. Like that man, every time he fights, is entertaining as hell, and he
Mm-hmm.
knows how to work that crowd. I think it'd be an awesome match for us both.
Gotcha. So the OG. What about somebody like Brian Ellis? He's coming in. From the outside, he seems like he has some of the intangibles. Is it just too much, too fast, you think, for him? Do you think he still needs to refine his craft a little bit more and pile up some of those victories and be decisive about it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think a lot of these fighters coming in, they want to rush these things. You know, they want to just jump straight to that title match, prove they're the baddest. But I feel like a lot of these fighters really need to take their time going through these rankings and working their way up and making sure that they're ready for these title matches. Especially when you're like, no offense to anybody, but when you're fighting a guy like me, you can't just rush into that 2-3 matches. Even winning the house, as we've seen, doesn't really prove that you're going to do well in the division itself. Like we have some killers in the division, and then I'm at the top of them all. So like you can't just like come in here and think it's going to be a piece of cake to get to the title. We have people below me that are going to just shit on you if you do that.
Yeah. Who do you think will make a good match for Brian Ellis next?
Honestly, I could see Brian and Nate fighting. I feel like that'd be a pretty good match to really settle like the middle of those rankings. You know, it'd probably be Nate's, you know, last chance to really prove himself to stay in the top, you know, even top of the bracket. Cooper's been on the rise lately, so I wouldn't mind seeing Cooper versus Ellis. I mean, Cooper got that mean knockout against Stevie. Yeah. So I think he has the power to take on somebody like Ellis, but you know, he did seem to take those hits very well, but I don't know who to compare Stevie's hits to because he's only hit one person, so it's kind of hard to see that. But they got their work cut out for them, you know, making this division really make sense right now.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I mean, Cooper Housley, you know, we got to see him, you know, a recently released fight, get to see the entire thing. Obviously, we got to see the knockout the night of the event. You know, he got a performance bonus for that KO over Stevie Payne. You know, where do you kind of see him settling in? Right now, the ranks got him at number 7. You know, where do you think would be kind of an opportune time for him to potentially prove himself? I think he's done enough now, 2-0, to prove that he should be on a numbered card. But who would that be up against in the heavyweight division?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I could see Cooper facing.
Do you think him Dorian, or do you think that's too much, too fast?
I feel like Dorian is too much for any. Honestly, if I feel like it would be a good match for Dorian just to prove that he could fight a clean fight, because I feel like that's definitely the biggest thing holding that man back. He's a great fighter. He just needs to clean up his fights a lot more, and I feel like that'd be a good fight to prove that he has that capability. But it's also a chance for Cooper to prove that he belongs in the top of the division. So I feel like that could be a good matchup going on.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you also have Logan Greenhall out there, still kind of unsure what his true potential is. You know, so maybe a match between Logan and Cooper could be something. Obviously, they're 6 and 7 in the ranking. Could kind of solidify that, almost kind of being that gatekeeper. What do you think about Darius? You know, to be honest with you, we've seen him kind of come over. I know you know him back to the Slap Fight Championship days. He hasn't had, you know, the luck of the draw per se. What do you think it's been, you know, the struggles that he's had, and where do you think he kind of goes here in Power Slap?
Man, I think the biggest thing, I feel like he got in his own head when he joined the sport. I feel like ever since that first knockout that he had with Ron, you know, that was the first time he's ever lost, and for it to be on this stage in that kind of way, I feel like would fuck with anybody's mental game. So I feel like that was a major part of it. And honestly, at this point, like, I'm not trying to be mean or anything when I say this, but his record shows he doesn't belong in the league right now. Like, personally, I would love to see him do better and get back into it. But right now, you know, he's lost every match he's had in Power Slap. Like, people have been cut for less, honestly. People have lost like 1 or 2 times and been cut off of that. So I'd love to see him come back, but, you know, that's in the producer's hands at that point.
Yeah, I want to show you something. So on the left-hand side here, we see the man. We see Darius.
Oh, shit.
With some of the guys from season 3. Very much unconfirmed. But we see him celebrating, which looks to be after, you know, the filming kind of done. We're seeing Darius as a competitor now on season 3.
That's crazy.
Could that be?
I honestly, I wouldn't put it past him because I mean, he came in as a coach, yeah, but he lost literally every match since then. So bring him back in as a student, see if he could make his way back. I love that storyline for him. You know, personally, I think that's great, awesome for him if so. But I definitely feel like if he could get these rules down, you know, focus on power slap and not, you know, where we came from, but where we are now, and really hone in on this, I feel like he could take this far. But you know, there's just things in his game, chinks in his armor now that he needs to really take a handle on.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it back on you, my man. You talked about Dorian Perez. Why would that be an exciting match? Why would that be the match that you would want to sell to, you know, to the brass of Power Slap?
That would be my match personally because, I mean, everybody they send up to me has never fallen before. Pretty much everybody. Dwayne's never been knocked out before. Ron never got knocked down before. I was first to do that. Nate never got knocked down. Knocked him out. Ryan's never fallen, you know, been knocked down. I knocked him out. So I'm just trying to keep my record going of breaking people that have never been broken before. And Dorian's the next person on that list.
Gotcha, my man. I mean, Dorian Perez, obviously OG, great personality. A guy that could probably bring, you know, very similar to Ryan Phillips, could probably bring a little bit more energy out of you. You know,
Yeah.
you've been working hard to try to, you know, get more in that spotlight, you know, through and through. But obviously your performance continues to shine every time up there. So there's really not a lot you can say in the way that you conduct yourself in business when you keep on showing up, showing out, collecting checks and victory. But I, you know, I remember back to the interview that we said before, and you talked about, you know, when you pay off law school, you're done with this game. You know, fast forward now 8 to 10 months. Is that statement still true, or do you kind of see yourself having a longer career here in Power Slap?
Honestly, I've kind of fallen in love with, you know, professional sports and what it does to, you know, for my mental and physical health. You know, I love school. I love law. You know, I definitely going to continue trying to pursue that dream. But, you know, I'm 22 right now, so I figured I'd take a couple years and, you know, see what this fight game has for me, see where I could take myself, push myself in the next couple years. Not just in power slap, but I still want to pursue boxing. So I'm hoping, you know, after a couple more title defenses, they'll finally let me, you know, get my first boxing match and, you know, just see where I could take it from there. Because, you know, this is a great opportunity, and I don't want to be that person that just lets it fall by the wayside. You know what I mean? I really want to push myself to take myself as far as I can in professional sports now that I've committed myself to it, because, you know, you never want to be second place.
For sure. Have you got that passport, man? Are you ready to go international?
I literally finished my appointment for it today. Like this morning, I got my appointment done, so it's on the way. You know, I got time.
Gotcha.
I know the dates enough to know I got a little bit more time before I really got to worry about it not being here.
Okay. Does it entice you? Does it excite you?
Oh yeah.
That opportunity to go international potentially, you know, I know, and I get in trouble for saying this, but I know when you're in America, you think it is the world, but are you excited to actually go see the world and potentially who else could be there outside of the borders of the United States?
Oh yeah. It's such an amazing opportunity that I'm like that alone makes me so thankful that I even did this sport in the first place, because I've always wanted to travel abroad, and to do it in such a manner as like possibly being on, you know, up there in the event, you know, not maybe not main event because they got the supers now, but you know, co-main event, main event, doesn't matter. Being up there in the spotlight in an international event, just saying it out loud, it makes me excited because it's such a mind-blowing opportunity for myself. And, you know, I just feel literally blessed to have this given to me, basically.
Yeah. I mean, great opportunity for everybody. I think the more the sport grows, the more excitement, the more sponsorship comes on board, the more the views come in, the bigger paychecks it ends up being, the bigger visibility. You're able to build your brand, broaden your brand and your reach. I see you have Amino heel beside you. Talk to me about it. Have you actually tried the product? And, you know, what do you think about it?
I've tried the product. So far, I haven't really noticed any difference, but I will say you better mix it with like some strong juice or something because it tastes goddamn awful. It tastes fucking disgusting, in my opinion. I hate the taste of it. I probably honestly drank it like maybe 2-3 times because I just bad.
Got you, my man. You surprised me with that answer. But anything else, my man? Anything else you think's exciting in the world of Power Slap? Anything you want to let the brass or the fans know about you? You game to throw it down anytime. They call you last minute. You gonna defend that title? Like, what do you think?
Bro, I'm ready for any and everybody. Man, I'll go up to a super heavyweight match if y'all want me to. I'll go down to a light heavy match if we run out of people. It's gonna be a mean cut. I hate cutting, but I'll try. I'll fucking try. You know I'll try. So I ain't never afraid to say no to a fight. So just send me somebody. Just get me out there.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you joining me as always. Great to get your perspective. Hopefully we'll see you up there defend your title real soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on, man.
Take care.